Hey my loves, I hope that you have all been well and taking care of yourselves. I have been away for a while, as I think a lot of us try to do with social media for just peace of mind, sanity. As the title says, it's very taboo to even talk about this. I brought up the idea to my brother. I was like, I'm gonna film tomorrow, and guess what I'm talking about? I told him, and he goes, please don't talk about it. So yes, it's normal. Let's get past it and just have a conversation. So today I'm going to be talking about alternatives to tampons and pads. So if you are somebody that is a step ahead of the majority, where you're utilizing organic tampons and pads, I applaud you. I will say I've discovered something even more extraordinary. Drum roll. What we're going to get into is kind of menstrual disc or menstrual cups. The one that I use that I favor over the cups, and I'll explain the reasons behind that as we get into it. But the brands that I use is Softdisc. So as we get into it, so like I said, the reason that I prefer the soft discs over discs, disc. I prefer the soft disc over the menstrual cups is menstrual cups look scary. So I did use it, and so it kind of looks like, if I can explain it, kind of looks like kind of this shape, maybe upside down, and it has this little tugging string at the bottom. So I don't like that aspect of it. It kind of hangs like a tampon string. Menstrual, or the soft disc, if you can see, I'll get one out, but this is kind of what it looks like. So it looks a little bit more friendly and not as intimidating as the cups does, in my opinion. And as far as the usage of these go, they're so much easier, you guys. The amount of videos that I watch that actually scare you away pretty much scared me away from initially using. I don't know, I want to say I came across it 4 years ago or so, and I was like, looks scary, I'm not gonna do it. And I kid you not, any girlfriend of mine except one that actually was like, I'm gonna try it. Well, there's a few that said I'm gonna try it, but actually one did. I think just we're so, as females, we're so used to what we're used to. And one of the most annoying and most frustrating things that I hear behind tampons and these cups and disc is that, if I use it, I'm gonna lose my virginity. No, you guys, like, if you do the research, look into it, it's very rare for that to occur. So look past that, educate yourself some. One of the reasons I switched over, so of course I've been using organic tampons and pads for some time, but if you're somebody like me, I experience extremely heavy flows, you guys. Even if I have a tampon and a pad in, I'll wake up and I'm literally like, either I get up and then I'm leaking, like literally just, it's awful. Like, I don't even want to paint the picture because it makes me cringe, and I hate that that's something that I have to worry about, like doing my day-to-day. I go on runs often, and I literally am like, okay, well, for the next 4 days I won't be running because like I'm afraid of running into leaking, right, as I'm doing that. So I don't want to be all over the place. Let's talk about getting past that piece of it that I just shared with you guys. The other thing that they say is, oh well, it's too complicated to use, I don't want to mess it up. You guys, just like with anything new that you are trying, it's gonna take a little bit of trial, especially something that is so foreign to our bodies. But I kid you not, the first time that I used this, I had no issues. Like, the only issue I had, because insert into a unique internal shape. Yeah, so there, your pubic bone was the only little piece that when you're inserting it, you just want to make sure to tuck it in behind. And I wasn't like, that wasn't clicking with me. That was just the first time. Second time, it literally just went in place, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. The use of the Softdisc is so much easier than the cups. So the cups actually, and I did experience the vacuum suction, like it almost hurts. It can get stuck. So that was like more reason for me to really stick to this. So this particular set has 14 disposable cups, and I ordered mine from Amazon, so that was $10.99 for 14 discs. So let me show you what it looks like. So as I did research, I looked into it. You can actually use one of these for your entire cycle. It does sound strange to people, but if you disinfect and wash it, you're gonna not have any issues. So it comes in a pack like that, and big reveal, it's gonna be a bit scary. So it comes in kind of this, and that's kind of, so I don't know if you guys can see, you probably can, but it comes in this kind of like mesh bag type thing. So it's the circle, and you're meant to just kind of pinch it and insert, literally just insert. And it's super flexible. It, as you know, it warms up to our body temperature, and it slips right into place. So as far as the instructions, it says to insert, squeeze the opposite sides of the rim together, like I showed you. And then it says that it molds itself to your unique internal shape, creating a personal fit. So yes and no. So as far as it going in, it literally will slide right in. You do have to do a little bit to get this to tuck in behind your pubic bone. Is it behind? Yes. So it tucks in, you'll feel it. You just want it tucked in. That's when you know that it's secure, and it kind of will sit like this and then collect your menses. So it does, so when you do go to pee, for example, you will see a little bit of blood, but that's actually just, it's not really your menses. Your menses will, because of this material that it is, it holds in place. And then when you wipe, you'll see a little bit of blood, but fear not, you will not leak. Like, I've not experienced leaking with this. Yeah, they've been around for a few years, but because, and it's taken a long time for people to come around. If you kind of look at your friend group, how many, it'll tell you how popular it is. How many of your female friends actually uses these cups and disc? Mine probably one, and that was after we had a conversation. So the pros of using these guys is, of course, one of the biggest things is that it's eco-friendly, so there's less waste. So if you use the cups, the reusable ones that they have, you can, it ranges from $30 to $40, but they can last up to 10 years, which is like a no-brainer, considering the cost of each time buying tampons. And then if you go for organic ones, it's a bit more expensive. So yes, it's less waste, and it is better for your body, you guys. So I'm not sure if I'm like, maybe when I looked more into this, I did more research. So if you do use the non-organic, like traditional always pads and stuff like that, you will, the chemicals that they use, so they use bleach and dioxin, which is terrible, cancerous chemicals that just should not be introduced to our body. Our bodies generate, and if you are somebody that uses tampons, let me share this with you. What was it? Like, tampons soak up your natural bacteria that our body produces to prevent infections. The tampons or pads will soak that up and kind of dry your area. So this is more reason to use it, just avoiding any chemical toxins that are being introduced to our body. The other significant one is the toxic shock syndrome. I have a terrible time saying that, but it's TSS. So none of these, either this or the cups, have had studies where you have any cases of TSS ever. So like I was saying earlier, so if you are somebody that has very extremely heavy flows, the great thing with this is that for 12 hours you guys worry free. Like, put it in, don't think about it, no leakage and things like that. So that's another, like, that was one of the biggest things for me. So apart from that, so I'm not sure, because everybody has different relationships with their periods. I have a very loving one. I don't, but we go through it. Like, during that week is rough. So cramping, feeling tired, and of course, like, the worry of me constantly having to run to change and stuff like that. Like, this is just one less hassle for me. But I get extremely awful for the first at least couple of days or 3 days. I get just terrible cramping. So I actually found that when I use these discs, I have less cramps. I don't know if that's mental, or I'm pretty sure there's been no case studies that tie the two together, but for me, I feel like my cramping lessens when I have been using these. Less odor is another, you guys, I'm looking down because I took notes, but less odor. So when menstrual blood is introduced to air, it creates odor. So if you notice with like your tampons, pads, females, y'all know what I'm talking about. This, because it contains and does not get introduced to air, that odor is lessened or eliminated completely, which is like brilliant. The only con that I can actually put my finger on is the fact that this is messy to some folks, which in my opinion, it's actually quite opposite. So yes, when you are removing these cups, there will be a little bit of spillage depending on how pro you get with it, but I really don't care because it goes right inside the toilet. And as far as cleaning it, you just kind of dump it out and then go to rinse it and kind of disinfect it when you're washing it. And folks will say it's messy. Well, for one, like, I don't, when it says 12-hour protection, there's no need for you to put it on and then be out in public, in a public washroom or something doing this. There's like, you shouldn't even know, like, sis, if you get your timing in order, that like messy confliction that you have with yourself as to why you should avoid using these should kind of be out the door, because put it in at home and then when you're out and about, like by the time you get back, if that makes sense. It's messy, and then the fact that people are scared. So as far as, like I mentioned, the cups, there's that suctioning and the fear of like it getting stuck. I only had that with this one time. And I will say, if you have acrylics, this becomes really difficult. So I just recently cut mine down shorter, but I was having a hard time because I was afraid that I was going to, because I told you I'll use one for the entire cycle. I punctured a hole in this because of my acrylics, and because I was having such a hard time gripping it because of my nails. So I don't know, like maybe it takes practice, because the other times, I was in the shower when that happened, but maybe if you're sitting down in a better position, it comes out easier. If you guys have any questions about this, feel free to shoot that down below. Thanks so much for tuning back in. I'm not going to make promises of staying consistent, just because the headspace that we're all kind of in and the times, I really don't know if it's going to be consistent, but I'm going to do my best, because I love doing this. I love connecting with you guys, and as well sharing information like this that I have forward to you guys. Yes, thank you for all of you that are subscribed and for tuning in, for coming this far. If you are new and you're not subscribed, go ahead, and you've made it this far, subscribe. Obviously there's a reason you stayed and stuck around this long to hear me chatter, and I will see you in the next one.